Hey YouTube, Dawson Rider here with a review of the EX Reshas of Gobusters and Kyoryuger. As with every year, we have a sort of, well, I guess not every year, but it's more recently started for Sentai. We have a, past season being forced into the current season's gimmick. This year we happen to have it with Reshas, so we actually get little trains of the previous seasons, which actually, I have to admit, is quite a bit cooler than the Super Sentai Judenshi. So anyway, first up we have a Gobusters Russia and a Kyoryuger Ressha. So let's go ahead and we'll just take a very quick look at the packaging. Really nothing spectacular about it. It's in a clear packaging instead of like a solid box. As you can see, got a picture of Red Buster there, and then ToQ Ichigo, and then it shows how this can combine with ToQ-oh, and then on the back it just, shows it off again, shows what you can do with it, all that fun type of stuff. Same thing with the Kyoryuger packaging, nothing special, you just got Kyoryu Red and ToQ Ichigo, shows how you can do the transformation, and all that good stuff. So we'll go ahead and we'll just sort of do these guys individually. So we'll pull the Kyoryu one over for a second. I'm going to zoom in here. We're a bit high up because I have to do Megazord things, so I figured it would be easier just to use the one tripod. So here is the Gobusters Russia. Like I said, admittedly, I actually do like this a little bit better than the Super Sentai Judenshi. I found them to be rather boring. At least this gives you something interesting to look at, and I really do dig the design of this. I think it's a really good combination of, Red Buster's mech and the Ressha. It's got this nice sleek design. It looks pretty solid. There's not really any problems with it that I can think of. I mean, it's nothing spectacular, but it looks pretty sweet, especially if you're into trains. I think it looks pretty good. Right now it's sort of, combined like this. You can also separate it right here and pull this little flap out, and it will create a little hole right there, which you can push on this peg, and you can have it be like this type of train, and then go wee. I don't know. I prefer the fully together one. That one just doesn't feel as secure to me. But so you can do that, and then obviously you have this little thing right here to pull out here, so you can attach it to any other Ressha, so you can attach it to a big long train, and there's a little hole right there so that you can, attach it to that. But that is pretty much it. That is all it does in this mode. All it does is just look kind of neat. I got the Gobusters logo right there. It does make sounds with ToQ Changer. I almost said ToQ-oh. But here we go. Let's go ahead and put it in the changer. So, oops, you don't want to be a dumbass like me, and you actually want to take this part out. There we go. So when you just set it down, it'll just say that, and now we will press the Summon Ressha button. So it will repeat Gobusters Russia, and then you can do the transformation. So then it pretty much just says its name and then gives a generic noise. And if you want to, you can also do the line change. So I'm actually going to switch it out with this. Yep, so you can do that. It's really nothing special. All you get is the same noises mashed up against each other. Alright, so now we're going to take a look at the Kyoryu one before we do the mech combinations. We will do those together. So set Gobusters aside and roll on in the Kyoryu train. Now this one's kind of funny because, if you follow the RR podcast, you know that Shuki thought that last year was going to be dinosaur trains when we mistakenly thought the little symbol for the battery was a dinosaur train. I guess this was just a premonition for this, as we actually got a dinosaur train. Now honestly, this is pretty neat. Yet again, I think it's a pretty solid combination of the Ressha and the look of Gabutira. They do a very good job at it. It looks very solid. There's not really any huge paint problems with it. It looks just really fun. It's like a great combination of the two, like I said. You got the Kyoryuger logo right there. Gabutira's face and personality sort of comes across in a way. You can open up right there, so we can be like, rawr. So honestly, it's pretty neat. It's a pretty good combination of dinosaurs and trains, and I actually really dig it. Like I said, I think this is at least a little more interesting looking of a gimmick than the Super Sentai Judenshi. Just like with the Gobusters one, you can separate it here and pull this part out and have it be a train like this, and then just come apart, which I just don't see the point in this, to be honest. But so yeah, you can do that, and then you can attach it to any other ones. Right here you have this little peg to attach, and then this little hole here. But that's pretty much it. Now this one also does have noises in the changer. So let's go ahead and place it in. So when you put it down, Kyoryuger Ressha, and then summoning. Alright, transformation. And you can do the line change. So yeah, that is a thing. Honestly, nothing too special. It's really just saying its name with the new voice, which is pretty typical fare for these type of things, but really nothing to write home about. Alright, so now we are going to bring in, actually I pulled these in for nothing, because we're going to bring in our friend ToQ-oh, as both of these can combine with it in a form. And it's all the action's going to be taking place up here. So in order to get this guy ready, it's actually fairly simple. Just pull this down. Couldn't resist. And then just pull this part out. Ouch. And then you can take his helmet and fold it backwards. So then you are ready with your headless ToQ-ichigo. Or ToQ-oh. ToQ-ichigo. I guess ToQ-ichigo works. So for this, it's very simple. Just take this piece and it's going to become this main piece here. So you just attach it. And then fold it up. This piece will fold. And you got a chest piece. And then for this piece, you just simply fold this out here, and you've got the head of Gobuster Ace, as you can see there. And there's two little pegs here, and then you just attach it up there, and you have the Gobusters combination. It is neat that you do have functionality with the mecha. Kind of like last year, it was neat that the batteries had functionality with both the mecha and the changer, so it gives a lot of playability. And it's neat in that respect, and the way it transforms is kind of neat. I think that the helmet here leaves a lot to be desired. It looks kind of crappy, to be honest. And then there's so much, like, kibble at the top of his head, it looks kind of ridiculous. Honestly, it's not really my most favorite thing in the world. I think it's neat that you could, you know, function with it, but it's just really nothing that special. And I suppose if you wanted to, you could do stuff like, take this off and put it on the arm, I guess. So you can do a bunch of different various combinations if you want, you know, just messing around. It's not really nothing that special, but it does, you know, add playability to it. So there's that. Now let's go ahead and go over the Kyoryuger one. Let's just get this guy back to normal here. Alright, we're setting them up. Alright, Kyoryuger time. So it is the exact same system for the Kyoryuger one. Just take this one out. This is going to become the main piece. So just set it here, like this. Fold it up. There we go. This piece here, fold out the head. Actually, you can just press it there instead of being an idiot. There you go, and then you have Kyoryugen's head right there. Also, not very much painted. I feel like it looks a little better than Ace's for some reason. And there you have that. And then, like in the live-action shots, they have him holding the sword from Kyoryugen, which I guess apparently it can. But yet again, I guess it's sort of neat, but really nothing spectacular. You can just see right there. There's the head. It's really nothing that special. You do have a dinosaur piece there. It's really not that bad. It's just personally not my cup of tea combined, but like I said, at least it's neat that you can have all of these function together, so you have a lot of various playability. So overall, these things are pretty neat. I actually like them more than I thought I would. Admittedly, I am still a bit fatigued at the whole past season, in current season gimmick. I get it, they want to make money, but it's just honestly getting a bit old and it doesn't excite me as much as it used to, if it ever did. In particular because I don't think that the Super Sentai Judenshi did that well. But I think this is a step up over the Suser Senp. I think this is a step up over the Super Sentai Judenshi. I think that these for me, are best when they're just in the train mode like this. I think they look kind of neat. They're definitely more interesting than the Super Sentai Judenchi to me. But honestly, the sounds in the ToQ-oh and the combination for me leave a lot to be desired. There's really nothing wow about it. I think it could be a bit cooler, but yet still it does give you a little bit of playability. So I think ultimately it's up to you whether you like that. I think they're a bit of a step up from the previous Sentai gimmick last year, but I would still kind of like to see them not do this so much anymore. But still, neater than I thought. But anyway, that about wraps it up. Until next time, make sure you check out the Crazy Podcast at writersrangersrambles.com. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, it's Dawson Rider, signing out.